Mongeonjuice, I can do anything. I was born ready. Welcome to the Mongeonjuice Show. I'm Kenny the Mongeonjuice Mungen. This is our inaugural broadcast. It's really just a format tester. We're getting started actually next week. It's Wednesday at 12, and we're pretty pumped up. We're encouraging people to call us up and talk to us and ask us questions about sales-related stuff. We talk about a little bit of Mongeonjuice, state of mind, that kind of stuff. We're really excited about this opportunity, going out to you guys live. And again, it's a format test. Our first show is next Wednesday at 12. But if you want to call in today, we'd love you to call in, ask any questions, sales related. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care if you're selling Tupperware, shoes, Amway, life insurance. It's all sales, and that's what the Mongeonjuice Show is all about.
And I'm here too, producer Chuck.
Big Chuck Vieira.
The man behind the brand here, as Ken's producer.
The man behind the brand.
Hey Ken, why don't you tell people a little about what the show's going to be all about?
Mongeonjuice Show is basically about sales techniques. It's about the state of mind. It's about putting yourself in the right position to go out there on a daily basis and create opportunities. My opportunities when I started in the business, I started with zero. I worked in a sweatshop. I was a little bit more determined than most people. I had a lot of chutzpah, and I went out there and started making cold calls and whatnot. I was very excited right from the beginning, and that's really how you're going to go out there and make a living, is to sell some. Sometimes you got to sell the sizzle and not the steak, and that's what sales is all about. But everybody needs a mentor in the sales business, because there is no real-world sales training out there today. Unfortunately, most people get a license to sell securities, or life insurance, or real estate. But you know what? Unfortunately, most of the time, they don't have a mentor. A large population, especially in the real estate industry, people get the license and they think they're going to be, driving a Mercedes next month. It's just not that easy. There's one thing to pass the license. It's another thing to go out there in the real world and learn how to build your business on a daily basis. And that's a niche. It's not exclusive to Fall River, New Bedford. I'm sure in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or Omaha, Nebraska, there are a lot of licensees that are trying to figure out what to do. How do I get a buyer? How do I get a seller? How do I hook up with builders and get a subdivision? I mean, these are all important questions. They're all important tools. But you know what? If you're not asking questions, you're not going to get any answers. And that's what, the Mongeonjuice is all about, is putting yourself in the right state of mind.
So the main purpose of the Mongeonjuice Show being at noon is for a specific purpose. Why is that?
It's at noon because, there's a lot of people that are online. They're at their lunch break. They're at their office. A lot of these people that are going to tune into the show are in the sales. Guess what? Some days you feel like a nut. Some days you don't. I mean, that's just the way it is. So if you can get somebody to get you jacked up at lunchtime, then maybe the second half of your day goes better than the first. That's what it's all about.
So you have a new website out. Let's talk about that.
Love it. Just got launched yesterday. www.mongeonjuice.org. Awesome. It's awesome. We launched it last night. I got so much feedback, right away. It's really exciting. Of course, Chuck did a great job. He posted some really cool videos, and it just looks real professional. He followed me last week. He shadowed me for a good 4 or 5 hours. We went to lunch with one of my agents, Randy Estrella, and we're at the End Zone in New Bedford. We just got a lot of good stuff going on, and it's cool that you get to shadow me and you get to see this stuff online, because you really get the nuts and bolts of what sales is all about.
And there's a mailing list that people can subscribe to. What can they expect when they join the mailing list?
The mailing list, I mean, we're going to have a newsletter, okay? And we got something called the Mongeonjuice Method. And these are all pointers and tips. And I'm willing to share scripts. I've been doing this for 27 years this year, Chuck. 27 years. How's that possible?
You're such a young man.
I thought I was 35. Apparently not. Anyway.
I'm 35.
Shut up. Anyway. So anyway, 27 years worth of experience, and you know what? I treat it like a job. So I want other people to go out there, and I want to share my scripts. I want to talk about, different things that you can do. Really, it's about being regimented. Okay, in sales you have to be regimented. You have to make calls. In real estate, it's expired calls. It's for sale by owners. And again, you guys get the benefit for the younger folks, the millennials out there. You get the benefit of all this technology, this social media, what we're doing right now. Are you kidding me? I mean, when I started, we're doing this, brother.
Who's doing this?
We're branding not only KAM Realty and Fab Flooring, but the Mongeonjuice. We're branding ourselves, getting out there to as many people as we can. So listen, anybody wants to call in, we're looking for some calls. We want to be interacting. So you can call us at 1-888-647-9805. Again, it's 1-888-647-9805. That's a number you can call in. You can call in just to say hi. You can call in just to tell me that I'm nuts. You can call me to tell me you want a bottle of Mongeonjuice. Basically, I'm here to help. That's why we're doing this. That's why we have our own channel. We got Mongeonjuice Minutes, which are 60-second teasers. We just got a lot of things. That Mongeonjuice Method newsletter, I'm excited about that because that's we're going to email you that information. When you go on to mongeonjuice.org, the first prompt you're going to see is via email because we want to be interacting with you guys on a regular basis. That's what it's all about.
And that's going to bring us on another thing. We're going to be talking about a lot of concepts and a lot of about capturing emails and a lot of important steps that you need to take when it comes to marketing.
Follow up.
And the Mongeonjuice will be, yes, follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. Absolutely.
Hey, who taught you that?
Some guy goes by the name of the Juice.
Bald guy, 5'3",
Yeah,
good looking.
Good looking. Doesn't look 50 or whatever he is.
52 next month.
52 next month. So
Ay, ay, ay.
capturing emails is important to continue the conversation, and that's going to be something we talk about.
Extending the conversation, continuing the conversation, having your personality reflect on a phone call, proper intonation, not sounding like you're from Fall River. I'm still working on that, even though I don't live in Fall River. But, in all seriousness, these are all important concepts that you got to learn. And you got to practice.
Yeah.
Very important.
So this morning you put out a Facebook post about getting on the phone right away. What'd you do this morning, Ken?
You're not going to believe this. I got on the phone right away. I have a headset. I use the headset because I'm dialing for dollars like pretty much all the time. And I've actually had several of my agents in. Tracy was here. Mary is still here. Brittany is still here. And guess what? Brittany, new to the business, 2 weeks in. She's getting a listing in Freetown in a couple of months. I was on a cold call. Mary is getting 15 acres in Westport. I got a new recruit and a listing in Westport, single-family ranch. And that was all just from us getting on the phone and burning them up for a couple hours. So that business wasn't there until we jumped on the phone. If we didn't make the calls, we wouldn't have those 4 or 5 opportunities today.
Were those cold calls or were they warm calls?
They were cold as ice. I think Mary made hers out of the Westport phone directory. Comes from the Westport Council on Aging. My grandmother gave me one of those back 27 years ago when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. The first guy I called was Mr. Amaral, and he gave me 12 listings. I didn't even know how to fill out a listing agreement. I had 12 listings at one shot. So that's when I got hooked. I said, 12 listings? One phone call? The hell am I doing? And I've been making calls ever since, pal.
Hey, speaking of calls, call us up. Test out our format here. We need some callers. We need to talk to you guys, create a two-way conversation. But Ken, what are the 5 things that you would do before you make every cold call?
The 5 things that I do. I mean, you know what? I'm a very regimented person, okay? And really, for people that are new to, let's say, the cold call, because that's the most difficult part of prospecting because it's literally cold, okay? There are things you have to do. You should practice before you even make a cold call. Go home, learn a script, look in the mirror, smile, and work on your enunciation, your pronunciation, and the way you talk to people. For me, I don't have to do anything before I make a cold call because, believe it or not, I'm on automatic pilot every day because I'm regimented and I know what needs to be done, and I'm very much a creature of habit. and that's why I got regular success.
So activity breeds activity.
Wow, say that again.
Activity breeds activity.
Who taught you that one?
Same guy that taught me the last thing I said.
That freaking guy's pretty smart, no?
He is. He isn't bad.
Activity. So listen, say activity breeds activity all the time, and it's a simple reason. Let's say you're out there and you say, all right, Kenny Mungeon said I have to make 50 cold calls, right? And you're getting through this. You're new to the business. Guess what? When you're making those calls, something else, okay, is going to come to harvest. Something else that you might have been working for, or somebody that you might have talked to when you were buying pork chops at Stop and Shop last week, and you handed out a card. I went for an oil change yesterday, and the people at the garage who know me, they're my past customers, they're like, Ken, it seems like you're low on energy. What's wrong? I said, listen, I just don't have as much Mongeonjuice as I normally do. So the customer that was in the chair said, hey, did you say Mongeon? It turns out he knows my family from Somerset. Turns out he's got 6 acres of land in Somerset, and he's going to be listing it with me. So an oil change and a listing. And that's just from being excited, talking about what you do. ABA, always be asking. If you don't ask a question, you can't get an answer. It's all basic stuff. But it's repetition, and we got to hear it on a regular basis. And that's part of the niche that the Mongeonjuice is going to bring to help other people out.
All right. So we are going to conclude our YouTube live test right now. We're going to start our Facebook live test.
Okay.
So thanks, everybody, for joining.
Thanks, everybody. Tune in next Wednesday at 12. It's the real deal.
The Real Mongeonjuice Show next Wednesday, 12 o'clock. See you there.
See you then.